Today, we're diving into a story that weaves together ancient prophecies and historical accounts. It's the story of a birth that, according to our sources, was truly destined to change the world.
So let's set the scene. Our story kicks off, as the source describes it, in a time of pretty deep darkness. Imagine a world that feels completely adrift, just searching for some kind of direction, for a sign.
And that really makes you wonder, right? When a whole world feels this lost, where could a beacon of hope possibly even come from?
According to the text we're looking at, this wasn't just some fleeting bad mood. No, it was this deep, collective feeling of exhaustion. Humanity was described as weary and lost, and they were actively looking for an answer to this huge spiritual void.
And this hope wasn't just, some vague wishful thinking. It was a promise, woven right into the sacred texts of both Judaism and Christianity. These ancient scriptures all talked about a specific figure who was yet to come, a messenger who would bring a new kind of light into the world.
So, what did these ancient scriptures actually say? Let's get into the specifics and look at the key passages that our sources always point back to. All right, so the first clue, according to these sources, is found in the Torah, the holy book of Judaism. It's in a conversation between God and Moses. Now, the phrase here that really jumps out to people is, "from among their brethren." So what did that mean? Well, the understanding was that it meant a people who were related to the children of Israel, but not from them. And that pointed straight towards the descendants of Ishmael, Isaac's brother. And then the prophecies start to get even more specific in the book of Isaiah. It actually talks about a figure who would rise up from the lands of Kedar. So where on earth was Kedar?
And boom, here's the connection. Kedar is the historical name for the heartland of northern Arabia, a region directly linked again to the descendants of Ishmael. All of a sudden, this prophecy is grounded in a very specific part of the world.
This trail of prophecy keeps going right into the New Testament. In the Gospel of John, words attributed to Jesus talk about a comforter, or a spirit of truth, who would show up after him to guide all of humanity. So for Muslims, these signs, from the Torah, from Isaiah, from the Gospel, they all pointed to one single person. And that brings us out of the world of prophecy and to a very specific time and a very real place, the city of Mecca. The year is 570 CE. Centuries have passed since these prophecies were first written down. And now, in the heart of the Arabian Peninsula, something happens.
In the city of Mecca, a child is born. He's born into a respectable but pretty humble clan of the powerful Quraysh tribe. He's not born in a palace or to a king or anything like that. His name is Muhammad.
But here's where the story takes a wild turn. Because according to early Islamic historical accounts, this was absolutely no ordinary birth. The sources claim that the world itself reacted, with these incredible signs marking the exact moment. Think about this. Hundreds of miles away, in the powerful Persian Empire, the emperor's grand palace reportedly shook on that very night, and 14 of its arches just crumbled to the ground.
At the same time, in what we now call Iran, another major event is said to have happened. A sacred fire, one that had been tended by Zoroastrian priests and kept burning for 1,000 years, was suddenly extinguished.
And then, right back in Mecca, at the spiritual center of the city, the idols that were placed all around the ancient Kaaba are said to have just toppled over, all on their own, as if they were bowing to some new reality.
So you see, these weren't just seen as random, bizarre events. Each sign was given a really powerful meaning. The palace collapsing, that was interpreted as foretelling the rise of the Arabs. The fire going out, that symbolized the end of an old religious era. And the idols falling in Mecca pointed to a new spiritual order. But the final sign, that one was the most personal of all.
The child's mother, Aminah, later said she had this incredible vision at his birth. She saw a light come from her that was so bright it lit up the palaces of Syria, the region we know today as the Levant. This was seen as a sign of just how far her son's influence would one day reach.
So, let's connect all the dots. How does this birth in Mecca and all of these extraordinary signs tie back to those ancient prophecies we talked about? Let's pull all the threads together. Well, from the perspective of these accounts, it's like a checklist. The child Muhammad fit every single description. A descendant of Ishmael? Check. Raised in the lands of Kedar? Check. The one whose light would cross deserts and centuries? Well, his own mother was said to have witnessed it herself.
And this all leads to a series of really powerful paradoxes at the very heart of the story. This child would grow up with no formal schooling, yet he would speak with what millions consider to be divine precision. He would hold no throne, and yet kings would listen to him. He would carry no sword, but hearts would follow him.
And this brings us right to the final question that our source poses. Was the timing of this birth, the way it lined up with ancient prophecies and all these incredible events reported across empires, was that all just a string of coincidences? Or were these the signs that a weary world had been waiting for all along? That's a question for you to think about.